Welcome. This is the second video in a series of 3 for week 3. The previous video instructed you how you can study the wireframes to organize the content. And this video addresses troubleshooting, which simply means how to fix and resolve problems or errors that your website may be facing. You'll notice this practice exercise does involve a troubleshooting.html file, so you should open that from where we copied the project in the setup software exercise from week 1. Now, if you're having trouble accessing that, I'd like you to follow these instructions here. Okay, follow the instructions below, you click on this link, and then what you want to do is go find that source material, and it should show you the code, and then what you need to do is select all of it, copy the contents, and then come back to your project here, and it's recommended you create a new file by that name. Okay, troubleshooting.html. You add the file, and then when you paste it in, it should look like this. Okay, everything here represented here by troubleshooting.html. So now it's just a matter of making sure the new file is open in editor, which it is. And what we need to do is select all the code again and copy it. So with my cursor, I can click inside, do Control-A to copy all of it, and then Control-C. And then what I can do now is go and paste my HTML code and at this validator. So I need to access this website. And what I do when I'm here is, you'll notice there's the option to validate by URL, which would be this address if I wanted to, or by file upload. If you've saved your file locally on the machine, you would go and find the HTML file and just click open. But I'm going to be validating by direct input because I've directly copied all of this. Okay, I can now copy it, and I can come here, right click, and I can paste, or Control V, or if you're on your Mac, Command V. And by direct input, we can now check this markup, and we need to try and address these issues, and don't be overwhelmed. Okay, you'll notice it's giving us how many errors, right, starting with 1 all the way down here through, looks like 11, and not everything you see is an error. What's red is sometimes you get something in yellow, which is a warning. Okay, but it's also necessary to address them, right, starting at the top, working your way down, because oftentimes what can happen is one error or warning at the top can cascade and create other issues in your markup or your CSS. So what it's recommending here, it's telling me the start tag scene without seeing a doc type first. So it's expecting to see this, and it must be getting something else. You'll see here, HTML attribute language equals EN for English. So it wants us to look there. If we come over here, it is expecting that, okay? It's expecting a doc type declaration, but rather we've just started the file with HTML. So let's go correct that. It's expecting to see a doc type declaration. So let's give it one to process. You'll notice I put all in caps doc type, and then I did lowercase for HTML. Let's actually do that. We've corrected just one thing, okay? And I recommend you make a change, at least until you get more comfortable doing this, and then revalidating each type. So again, Control-A, Command-A, and then we copy, and then let's just revalidate once more. Now, where do you go if you want to revalidate? Do we have to refresh the page entirely? Well, we can. Okay, if we refresh this validator, it's going to ask you to confirm form resubmission. Okay, and you'll notice, oh no, I'm getting an HTTP error. Well, let's back up, shall we? And let's paste in this validate by direct input. So I'm going to Control-A everything, select everything, delete it all, and then let's paste again my changes. And you'll notice I have a change of doc type here that I've addressed. And you should see that error is gone. Woohoo! So we're making some progress. So our total errors now are 10. Okay, so we've whittled it down to 1. Let's try and tackle 2 together now. And then I'll leave you and challenge you to address the others. You'll notice here it says element head is missing, and it is a required instance of the child element title. So normally, what do? We put our title inside of the head of the page, and it's saying you actually don't even have one. So we need to address that. Let's give our page a title. What should we say? Let's call it Troubleshooting Exercise, shall we? Let's actually verify the activity here. Gives us some tips. Okay, again, like I'm doing, start with the top of the list, work your way down. You'll notice this addresses how we would nest listed items in an unordered list inside the navigation. And that's how we want to structure our wireframe too. We want our links to different pages to be nested inside the parent element. Okay, so we have parents, we have children. Okay, the parents I refer to sometimes as containers that we fill with content. So we fill a list with listed items. And we fill navigation with an unordered list with its listed items. So we call this block of code the nav element. It contains our navigation. So again, work with that. You'll want to nest some things. You'll notice I have my listed items over here, all nested in an unordered list. So that may be an error that we need to address, okay, after title. And we see actually two issues here with title. So let's do that. Let's come here into the head and let's just revalidate. Let's copy what we've done. I've added a title now. Okay, the next area we'll look at is the header. But you'll notice here, interesting, okay, here we have the header. So it's talking here. If we look at this element title, not allowed as child of header in this context. So it's from line 10, column 7. If we look down here, line 10, so that's the issue. So it's not liking that. Okay, it doesn't like us to have our title down here. So shall we just copy this? I think that's a better title for this page rather than troubleshooting exercise. So let's copy that, let's remove it. We could have just copied the title tags too. It's also telling me in the red dot that there's an error on the page. Okay, and let's fix my title to represent the true river rafting title. Okay, now we click away, we did not get that issue. Okay, I'm actually kind of liking this. The title of our page here is now inside the head of the page, which is great. And you'll realize the title is what we'll see up here if we were to go to the website directly. So let's just copy all this content once again. Come up here, let's revalidate. See what our options are. We don't need to deal with that right now. So let's try this again. You'll notice this is the actual information it's checking. So rather than backing up to where I was before, let's select everything here and undo it. Let's do Control V to paste the new content. You should see a doc type declaration we've adjusted and a new title we've moved from the header up here to the head. So let's check. Let's see if we created less problems to address. Okay, and if I come down here, I see 2 of them are missing and our total errors are now whittled down to 8. So that actually knocked out a couple, right, of the errors we saw. So I encourage you to keep going through line by line. It's going to ask you to look for perhaps some syntax or some special characters you need to address. Say, for example, it's expecting a left bracket here. Probably missing this. And where do we go? Line 11. So again, go to line 11. It's expecting something. Oh, there it is. Okay. And the columns simply refer to how far over it is in the page, right? Column 1, column 2, column infinity, right? It's way over here. So it's having an issue with this line bracket. And no, we don't need to have an equal sign. We don't even need to have these quotes. That's not necessary. Okay. This is a self-closing element. And just for practice sake, let's revalidate with that correction. Okay, so I'm pasting in my change. I remove the quotes. I fix that to the best of my ability, but you'll notice here, I didn't quite fix it. It's saying error. We still have a total of 8. So we come up here, error saw left bracket when expecting an attribute. Probable cause missing a right bracket immediately before. So is it missing one? Let's come back. Line bracket. Oh, I see the issue. You see what's happened is we've opened the image element, following along. We didn't close the image element. We immediately did a bracket. So let's close the image element. Okay, and then let's open our line break, which should push navigation to a new line. Let's copy it. Again, it's a process of repetition. You'll get the hang of it as you practice, and then we'll just check our work as we go. And you'll notice, ta-da, we've done it. We've removed that error by addressing the issue. So it's going to point you to the line in the column, and that's what I'd like you to do. So good luck. Move through the rest of these errors. There's only 5 left if you've been watching. And look for the next video that demonstrates how to create a wireframe for our river rafting page. So that's the creating of a new web page that follows. Okay, I'll see you there. Good luck.